Hey guys, George Elias here. George Elias Presents. Today I'm talking about Nomad. So Nomad is a documentary I made about my older brother Renee's life on the streets, like his time on the streets. He was homeless several times throughout his life, and one day, I just decided to ask him like, "Hey, would you be okay with telling your story? Excuse me, your story, for a documentary?" I don't think anybody likes to air out their dirty laundry. So he thought about it, and after a couple of days of thinking about it, he came to me and he was like, "You know what? Let's do it." And he agreed. So we were off to the races, as they say. Now I filmed that one on an entry level GoPro. You can see more about that on my life with GoPro video. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. At the time, I didn't have was it? I didn't have a computer to edit on. I was still editing on a. I think that one was done on an iPhone that was given to me. It didn't have the best memory, so what I would do would be I would upload it to save it. Delete what I had on the memory to save memory. Then when I film new things, I'd edit those, and then I would download the one from YouTube and add it together. And it just the compression is terrible for those nerds out there. Anyway, it's still there. It's watchable. It could be way better, obviously, but I was still relatively new to what I was doing. I didn't really know much. I filmed it and I submitted it to a couple of festivals, and I completely forgot, to be honest. Excuse me, I forgot that I had submitted it, and then like several months, almost a year later, I get an email one day, and it's like, "Hey, congratulations, Nomad has won Best Short Documentary at the Las Vegas International Film Festival." And I was like, "Wait a minute, did I submit it to that? I had no idea. I forgot. I had forgotten." And sure enough, I got it. And I was like, "Cool, sweet." And my brother was, of course, he was happy. He was proud. And as was I, as was our mother. Yes, some of the subject matter in Nomad is heavy, and we actually go to some of the locations. And see, I've said this before, and man, I really wish I knew what I know now, as far as like external hard drives, memory, and whatnot. Because man, I had so much extra footage, but I didn't know what to do. I wasn't. I'm still don't really know what to do, but I was really new then compared to what I know how to do now, and I had no idea, I could how to save it on different things and whatnot, and I lost so much footage, and so much things, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I should have just threw them in there. Now, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, you think differently way later, but looking at it now, man, I really wish I would have kept some of the footage. I really do. So the GoPro was the entry level GoPro, the one that doesn't have a screen in the back part of it. You're filming blindly, as I've said before, was the one that I used. The audio is the built-in audio in the GoPro, because there was no way I was going to take my better cameras or even more noticeable cameras with me. I wanted something that I could just be in and out. And GoPros, they're very small, so it's just in and out. Sometimes they didn't even notice I was filming, in some locations. Obviously the people that come out in it, I asked them, if they were okay being on camera and whatnot, and they were so out of it that I was like, you know what, some of them I didn't even bother. I was like, never mind. They didn't know what I was talking about. And some of them you could just tell they hadn't eaten, they hadn't slept in a while, and they were just, what's that old saying, you can't help those if they don't want to help themselves. And a lot of them we would try, and it's, I still sometimes try to help them, and they just kind of, it's almost like they don't want it. They have this system, this way of life that works for them. But as my brother said in this documentary, some are homeless because their family gave up on them, drugs and whatnot, mental and psychological issues. But others are homeless by choice. They choose to be that way. They don't care where life is going. They don't care about anything. They're just day by day, second by second, actually. So this episode of the story behind is going to be a little bit different, because I actually have a segment with my brother, and I'm going to ask him a couple of questions, and he's going to talk with you guys about it. And yeah, as follows, I'm gonna hand it over to my brother Renee, and you're gonna see the questions, and he's gonna tell you a little bit about his experience of making this film and what he thinks about it now, several years later. As far as my part is, that's the story behind Nomad, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode of the story behind. And now it's time to go talk to my brother Renee.
Hi, my name is Renee Elias. Well, at first I didn't know what was going to happen. When it was brought to my attention, to try to make this film. But I don't regret anything. I think it was one of the best things that could have happened to me because I think it was good for people to know what I went through, and I was hoping that they could learn something from it because it was a life experience for me. Well, to go back and visit the places where I had my ups and downs and I slept during the time in the streets, and to visit the area with the train and all that, it brought back some type of like feelings. Some were good, some were bad, but like, it kind of helped me, to be able to tell my story. And there's times that I've actually driven by there and seen those spots, and it brings back good memories. To be honest with you. Well, I don't think there's any regrets. I enjoyed making the film. It brought back good memories, some bad memories, but I think in all, I think it was a story that needed to be told. So regrets? No, I haven't. I don't have any. The best part for me was some places that we visited. I was able to see, how people are living nowadays and the conditions that people live. The homeless. A lot of people don't understand homeless. No, not all homeless are homeless because of drugs or addiction. Some of them are kind of mentally ill, or some are just going through hard times. So unless you've been there, you won't understand exactly what's going on with people like that. So it was nice to visit places where people are struggling and things are happening like that because it gives you a different outlook in life. Well, after the Nomad filming, I started drinking a lot, and I went through a phase where I guess I drank for almost 8 9 months, probably more, but I was drinking heavily, just like out of control. So it came to the point where I got some help. I was able to bounce back from that now, and I've been clean for going on 2 years now because I like the way it feels to be able to have control of my life, and it always reminds me. I think of Nomad all the time because I think it was a really good opportunity for me to be able to tell what had happened, and even though everything that's been going on with the pandemic and everything, I've been doing pretty good, and would I do it again? Yes, I would. I wouldn't even think about it twice.